Okay, so welcome you all. So this time we are going to consider a new topic to us, that is the uh, measurement and instrumentation under the head of this semester. So for the next couple of months, we are going to discuss the different aspects of one of your four sem subject, that is measurement and instrumentation, course code BEL 04002. And you are you will be with me sharing some of your hours, couple of as far as this semester is concerned, to discuss the different aspects and the critical aspects of the measurement and instrumentation. Yeah. So try to avoid the delayed participations. Noted down it. So as usual, first of all, I'll let me share the syllabus with you. It must have been available with you also. So unlike the previous modules, okay, um in this physical interaction module, there may be a bit difference. But as far as the online module is concerned, noted down that I am going to consider the module 1 for the 6 lectures. That is 6 hours here means so that the 6 lectures, okay, plus one test. So module 1 consists of the measuring instruments, classifications, basics, electromechanical instruments, which you probably come across in your day-to-day life. Okay? We will try to connect the ample amount of applications as far as the measuring instruments are concerned. Then under the head of module number 2, we are going to primarily consider the wattmeter, that means the measurement of power and the measurement of energy and its calibration. Okay? Along with a brief discussions over the galvanometers. So though the fundamental concept of the galvanometer is already emerged from since the beginning itself, when we will discuss the electromechanical instruments. So remember at that moment itself, you are going to consider the galvanometers. But it is specifically mentioned in the syllabus. So remember during the real discussions, the flow of content may differ a little bit. Okay? So, like some of the fundamental aspect of the energy meter, and particularly, I will cover up under the head of first module, almost at the last section, and then we will jump to the module number. So, module number 2, therefore, I will accommodate bit lesser amount of time, that is the 4 lectures plus one test, short test. Then the module number 3, we will be primarily considering the bridges. Okay, I must have told you during the network analysis class also, like bridge is one of the very important property, particularly during the design of the network synthesis. What are the other network synthesis I have told you about? So now we are going to consider the detailed discussion about the bridges, their roles, what are the role of AC bridges, DC bridges, how many possible bridges you have, and their respective applications. Remember, the bridges are always the integral part of any signal conditioning devices. In fact, in the modern arena of the electronic devices, bridges are normally used as the first device to filter out the signal or to improve the signal to noise ratio. So we will talk about a lot under the head of that particular module number 3. So again, it has dedicated around 6 lectures plus one test. Then we will jump to module number 4. So relatively the smaller one, instrument transformers we will discuss, and the potentiometers and their applications in a brief. So 3 lectures primarily I think I will dedicate to the instrument transformers and one lecture over the potentiometers. Okay. Then the 5 lectures we will be dedicated for the last unit, module number 5, that comprises of the digital multimeter and the introduction to the transducers and some classification of the transducers, their benefits, characteristics. So remember this when we talk about the last module transducers, it is not the complete set, because the transducer sensor is so vast that it can itself a complete syllabus. So here we are going to touch only the brief aspects and some readily usable, some of the most popular uh, transducers you will come across in your day-to-day life. Okay, so that is what the content we will be supposed to cover. Then what are the books? So possibly I would recommend you that you can refer the two books, okay, as per your book, as per your syllabus. I'm sorry. The A.K. Saune is mentioned a course in electrical and electronic measurements and instrumentation, Tanpatra publication. So Professor Saune was retired from the Thapar Institute of Engineering and Technology way back from Patiala, and the Helfrich Cooper. This book is one of the fantastic book I would recommend. That Sawney is something is again is the mixture of so many books. So it is, you will get the content of Helfrich and Cooper. You will get the content of Doblin's electrical measurement, and then some of the content of Goldin and Bettis you will also get. It's a very old book. The second number of reference. David A. Bell, one of my favorite, you can say, electronic instrumentation and measurements, Oxford University Press. One of the very good book published in last one decade, you can say. Okay, a lot of good idea you will get. And the last one, the Purketh, Biswas, Das, and Kole. That is electrical and electronic measurement and measuring instruments. One of the very good book, you can say. Okay? Most of authors are Indians, and you will get a very good content. So I would personally recommend, if you ask me, to refer the book number two, recommended textbook number two, reference book number three, and reference book number four, okay, is more than sufficient. But it is up to you. Many of the content, what you will see, the scanned content of the book, that typically I have taken from these two books which are being highlighted. Number one, the fourth number of reference book, and this Urgat et al. And the textbook, second number of textbook, Helfrich and these two content I have used. As usual, I would again recommend that you can revisit to the NPTEL site. Hope you must have get a lot of help from the last semester subject under the head of network theory when I recommended you. So this time also I would recommend you that you will get so many specialized lectures and some fantastic professors. They have delivered their video lectures there. So you can also refer that wonderful content which is available to you free of cost. So by the end of the completion of this particular course, I am expecting that the course outcome should able to match the delivery within you. What is expecting that the understanding the principles of basic electrical measuring instruments, operation of the wattmeter, energy meter, galvanometers, uh, voltmeters, ammeter, okay, then the working of the different types of AC and DC bridges, operation of the instrument transformer, potentiometers, and the operation of other electronic measuring instruments, and some basics of the transducers at the end of the syllabus. So with this, let us we initiate our discussion for over the first topic, module number one, that is the measuring instruments. Okay. So when I talk about the measuring instruments, uh, any idea that what supposed to we discuss under the head of this measuring instruments? And before that, what we will be discussed, we got to understand one thing, that what is the role of the measurement and instrumentations very very precisely. Okay, industrial measurement is one of the application. Control system is a subject which probably you are going to cover up this topic, which is one of the very very important topic, research topic, application. No industry runs without the involvement of the control system. Today whatever machineries you see, including the industry, power systems, electronic gadgets, everybody has their own, each and every devices and system have their own classified control system. So if I will give you an assignment that draw an equivalent schematic diagram of measurement and control system for the industry applications. So remember, now here I mentioned very specifically the industry applications. Okay, measurement can be measurement and sensors, transducers are also used in health application, which is called biomedical instrumentation, one of the class of the instrumentation engineering. Then these measurements control system are readily required as far as the modern industries are concerned from 1980s onwards, from the past 4 decades. That is, you can say that what we classically call industrial automation or industrial instrumentation. And then today, one more new emerging area has come up, which involves a lot of need of lot of adaptivity in the control system. That is called the robotics and automation. So if you talk about robotics and automation, if you talk about industrial automation, if you talk about biomedical automation, they all are under the comes under the wider umbrella, the larger umbrella of measurement and instrumentation. But then if you are required to redefine this particular system in a very simpler way, how will you do it? So I do know that at this stage, so therefore I am providing you this snapshot. I know at this stage you might not have come across the control system. So here I am not going to cover up the advantage and disadvantage of the forward loop and the closed loop control. Okay, that is the open control and the forward loop control. Open control means there is no control at all. So this set point SP stands for set point, which mentioned that you are giving a input. PV stands for process variable, which is bringing the feedback of the plant to compare. Okay, so that there should not be any error. EA stands for actuated error. Okay, that is the output of the digital controller, which takes the decision based on this input error. So objective of the digital controller is to nullify this error. This error should be tending to zero, so that the decision can be taken by the industry or the plant or the process, which is here in the right hand side. Okay, probably you can see. Okay, in the right hand side. Similarly, the CV stands for the controlled variable, because it is controlled by the involvement of sub automation. So this digital controller is nothing but it is an example of the automation. Okay. So remember, in this cycle, maybe it will take a longer time, probably that a complete year, to develop a understanding within you that how this exact precisely this closed loop cycle works as far as any industry is concerned or any related applications are concerned. Okay, so if you are already moving in the forward line, that is from the set point towards the control variable, so then there is actually no need of any control. Okay, so it is called the open loop control. And whenever this feedback is getting involved, where you have seen that one white box is mentioned measurement system or the sensors, and then the ADC, and then it is meeting to the process variable with the main line, then it is called the feedback control or the closed loop control. So here we are, our agenda is not to discuss about the control system. That is something that aspects you will understand at the little later stage, maybe in the next semester. Okay, so DI stands for, remember that some disturbance input, some that means some unwanted input. So if some unwanted input or disturbance signal is comes into, okay, then how it is going to affect the plant. Like in the previous time you might have observed that whenever we used to talk something, because now it is a digital communication entirely, but 10 years 15 years back, whenever we have an analog mode of communication, so whenever I'm interacting with someone through my telephone dials, so maybe some other signal is also suddenly also corrupted, is trying to getting interfere with your signal. Okay, so neither you can get that your original information nor that unwanted signal has any meaning for you. So that is called the disturbances which we need to avoid. So this diagram is actually telling you or is trying to convey you in a broader picture that what is the role of the measurement. Remember, measurement is the first sense of the device. Okay? Measurement or the sensor is the first sense of device which is primarily used to convert any physical form of information. That means any non electrical form of quantities or variable into the electrical form, so that your controller, your computer, your dedicated industrial PCs, or the computer, or sometimes we call human machine interface. If you might have visited into the plant, you might have seen, okay, there are big panels. Okay, so through that a human is trying to talk, is trying to interact with the machines. That is called human machine interface. Okay, so these interactions is being done. So how? Because the rest of the system, what you see here, this digital controller, this DAC means digital to analog converter, this plant or process can interact in terms of the electrical signal. So all this line in the green line is passaging, you remember, other than this actuator output where is mentioned MB stands for manipulated variable. Okay, ADC stands for analog to digital converter. Okay, so some portion, some stage of this loop consist of the physical signal, but most of the stages of this loop consist of the electrical signal, remember. So we need measurement devices or sensors in nowadays, so that finally you can get an electrical signal. What is the advantage of the electrical signal? Because these electrical signals can processed, can stored with the help of memory very easily if it is in the electrical form. But if the information is available in any other form of energy, then it is required very difficult. It requires too much expertise. Okay? Whereas anybody can save the information in electrical form. You all have the pen drive, you all have a USB drives, you all have a memory in your laptop. Okay, you all have a smartwatch, okay, or the smartphone. It has its own memory, so you can very easily store any form of information, whether it is a picture or video or some binary information in the electrical form of the signal. That is the role of the measurement and instrument. Okay, so that means without this, in the today's scenario, you could not even imagine about the uh, decision making or the automation of the system. Okay, so what you see here, that the measurement, okay, box you see in the feedback line, the job of this measurement box is to sense a signal from the physical parameter in the field. So wherever this box is indicating that where you have a, wherever you have a field, you are going to sense those signals, physical parameters, with the help of the respective sensors, and that you are going to convert to the uh, electrical signal. So output of this measurement system is a electrical signal, remember. And this the electrical signal, that means the analog form of the signal, is fed to the ADC, that is analog to digital converter. This digital converter is going to convert the analog signal into equivalent digital signal, maybe in the binary form of the data. It can be any form, but the simplest one is the binary form. Then this binary form of the data is going to feed over here this mixer. This blue line you dot you see first, it is the mixer. Okay, so it's a digital mixer where some reference point is already there, and this reference signal is compared with your field signal. Now if there is a no difference, so that means it is zero, that means the reference is perfectly set. Or if there is a difference, then the reference is set at some inappropriate value. Okay, so this is the reason that why this error should be zero. Once the error is zero, then and only the decision taken by the digital controller at that moment is going to feed, is ready to feed to the plant, remember. Okay, so that's why it is called the actuated error. Okay, but remember that as far as the real life application is concerned, it is never possible to make the error is exactly zero. Okay, sometimes error can be zero, but sometimes may not be. That's why the objective is that E, which is representing the error, which is the difference between these two, set point minus process variable. Okay, because normally it is a negative feedback in industry, remember. So that's why I mentioned set point minus process variable. So this error will be tending to zero. So then once your decision is ready with the help of your digital controller, your PC like system, so in that case this decision of the controller is going to feed to the plant. But now the problem is controller process in form of electrical signal, whereas plant doesn't understand electrical signal. It needs some mechanical processing, some hydraulic processing. okay, some pneumatic processing. So therefore it is required to convert this electrical signal again back into the physical form of the signal, okay. It can be force, it can be momentum, it can be torque, it can be temperature, it can be humidity, any physical form of the signal. So therefore what will happen, you need a mechanism which will help you to convert this electrical signal into the non-electrical form. So first of all, remember, this information is right now available in the digital form. So first of all, you have to convert into the digital to analog. So to do that, we will use a device that is called DAC, digital to analog converter. And then once the output of the DAC is ready, then it will be fed through appropriate actuators. There are three type of actuators: pneumatic actuators, which is used air to process the signal, okay, as a damping media. Second is the hydraulics for very heavy machineries, cranes, okay, heavy rail and all these things. Then the last one is the electronic actuators. Electronic actuators are the most sophisticated one, most flexible one, but in some industry places where the electrical signal can short circuit the things, can create some hazardous scenario, can be a dangerous. In those environment we use only pneumatic and the hydraulic actuators. Depends on your application, that whether you will use the electronic actuator or the pneumatic actuator or the hydraulic actuator. That particular signal is going to feed to the plant. So that's why remember, at the output of the actuator it is mentioned MV, that means manipulated variable. You have manipulated it, converted it according to your need. Okay, this is not the original form of the signal which is going to feed to the plant. So your automation device is going to feed their decision to the plant, and accordingly your plant control system takes the decision. Okay? So that's why it is called the controlled variable. I hope that this is clear to you. Now, so before going to proceed further, let us discuss that how we can define a term that is called the measurement. Okay, it can have a different way of defining. I won't suggest you that you refer some theoretical bookish term only. Some options I have been provided you, three options, but one of the most preferred option, what I love it, that the first one which I have highlighted you through the blue color, that measurement involves, if somebody asks you that what is measurement or define the measurement, so you can answer that measurement involves using an instrument. Okay, measurement uses an instrument as a physical means, okay, as a physical media, for what? Of determining a quantity or variable under the measurement. So under the measurement is inherited. So I repeat again, measurement involves using an instrument as a physical means, okay, of determining of quantity or variable. It can be a variable, it can be a quantity. The quantity like weight, force, okay, and area, or the variable like temperature is a variable, humidity is a variable, right? There are numerable other examples you can take, okay? Like for example, if you will say that you wanted to measure the strain, okay, so that is the force or the acceleration or the velocity. uh, this can be, okay, so different variables or a quantity. Okay? So there are two other options also. If you are interested, you can go ahead with that. But then if it is so, then if somebody asks that if it is a measurement, then what is the instrument? So instruments are nothing but, instruments are the devices, or it is a device for determining the value or magnitude of a quantity or a variable under the measurement. Okay, under the order of measurement, what you are going to do, you are going to determine a quantity or variable. Okay, so how you can determine? So by involving an instrument as a physical means. So your job is to determine the quantity or a variable. So in that case, what you are supposed to do under the head of instruments? What is instruments? It is a device which is used for the determining the value or the magnitude of a quantity or variable. Okay, if it is a quantity, then obviously you will get a value. If it is a variable, obviously you will get a magnitude. Okay, of a quantity or variable. Okay, if it is so, though instrumentation is not under the head of your syllabus. I mean, we are not going to, most of the time under the head of this syllabus, we are going to discuss the measurement and instruments. Okay, instruments, those are used for the various measurement purpose. Then what is instrumentation? So instrumentation is nothing but it is the measurement of non-electrical quantities by means of electrical methods. I repeat, measurement of non-electrical quantities by means of electrical methods connected or integrated along with necessary signal conditioning circuits. Okay. So this need of the signal conditioning circuit can be differ based on your application to application. Why you need signal conditioning device? So to make your signal faithfully measurable. Because what happened when you convert, say for example you are converting a force, you are applying a force over your laptop or a certain body, and you wanted to measure that particular force, okay, or that particular displacement or velocity or acceleration, something, okay. So then when you are converting this physical signal, that is called physical um, variable under the measurement or the non electrical variable, I would say, that is the force, into the electrical form of a signal. In that case, what happened, normally your device or a sensor which is under the measurement or which is used to convert that non-electrical signal into the electrical quantities, amplitude of that particular signal is very very low, okay, normally in the millivolts. So what is the millivolt? That means millivolt is the amount of energy. You can say the equivalent amount of energy in the voltage scale, which is carrying or inherited by that particular signal. So how long it can travel? It can't even travel 1 meter of the distance. So forget about the communicating to the longer distance to your human machine interface. Maybe you are sitting at the other corner of the world, okay, and we are interacting. How will you do that? So therefore, we sometimes require filters, amplifiers, some other devices. If you want multiple communications, then the multiplexers, demultiplexers, analog encoders, decoders. So the different kind of signal conditioning devices you shall be needed. Power amplifiers, voltage amplifiers, current amplifiers, depending on application. So you cannot fix a particular type of signal conditioning circuit for all the applications. Once the application will change, need of the signal conditioning devices also changes. Remember it. Okay, so very very important. So that's why you can say that measure. What is instrumentation? It is a measurement of non-electrical quantities by means of the electrical methods connected or integrated along with the necessary signal conditioning devices or signal conditioning circuits. It can be one circuit, it can be more than one circuit. If it is so, then I would now ask you a question, that what is industrial instrumentation? As I said in the beginning, the instrumentation has a different class of applications. Instrumentation can be applied for the biomedical, that means the human health. You see that in hospitals today so many equipments are used for the measurement of the different kind of signals related to the different parameters of the organs of the body. That is a different application altogether. If you talk about industry, it is a very different application. If you talk about space science like the rocketry, missiles, or the robotics, highly maneuverable devices, then it required altogether a different kind of instrumentations. Okay, so I'll give you a minute of time. You think about it. That how can you define industrial instrumentation if this is the definition of the instrumentation? So what is the difference you observe in industrial instrumentation? Normally in industry, when you observe, like some among of you got the opportunity to uh, revisit the uh, Hirakud Dam. So you might have seen, or maybe some other kind of industry. Okay. The role of industry, whenever the term industry or industrial is connected with the instrumentation, so remember, in any industry you are not going to measure one or two or tens of quantities or the variables simultaneously or in a sequence. Simultaneously, through the very complex merit of complex closed loop systems, you are probably required to or thousands of different kind of non-electrical quantities, okay, parallelly. That means the simultaneously. So it is requires a very heavy amount of measurement of the quantities. So you can just redefine a definition of industrial instrumentation as the measurement of large number of, you can say that measurement of large number of mechanical or oblique chemical oblique non-electrical quantities. In general, you can say that non-electrical quantities by means of the electrical method connected or integrated along with the required or necessary signal conditioning circuits. Okay, necessary signal conditioning circuits. Yeah, that's why I mentioned here the circuits. So I hope that this difference should be clear to you here. And let us proceed further, that we are going to see that what else is there. So why do we need measurement? The question is that now why do we need measurements? We need measurement to monitor some parameters sometimes, to control the parameters also, and also for the experimental engineering analysis purpose, for the experimental validations also, like what we do here in our lab. Our lab is not an industry, but we do a lot of experimentations to analyze the thing, that if you are going to make a sensor today, so how it is going to reciprocate with you. Okay, so that is all about the why we need measurement. Scales, obviously you need an ordinary scale or nominal scale, okay, or the inverter scale or the ratio scale. These are the four different kind of scales, remember, which well, remember, in case of zero scale ratio scale, zero has a no meaning. Okay, then in the next lecture we are also going to discuss some electromechanical indicating instruments. And the very fundamental aspect of electromechanical indicating instruments is the D-Arsenal meter moment. Okay, so D-Arsenal meter is the fundamental to design any emitter, voltmeter, or ohm meter. Okay, so that we will see its limitation and its application also. So that is the D-Arsenal meters, you can see, which has been uh, invented initially by the Oersted, introduced in 77 to 1851, which was later on amended by a French psychologist. Remember, he's not an engineer, a psychologist, uh, in 1851 to 1940, and will become very, very popular. And then the different dimensions of these aspects of the team accelerometers are going on. So what we will be supposed to do, that we are going to see the consider the different kind of signals, but try to answer me in the next time, that why most of the time the input signal is sinusoidal in nature. Number one. Number two, can we generate a perfect sine wave? Today you see in the market you have a ideal sine waves market, they claim, but is it true? Can you generate a perfect sine wave? That is the question from my side. And when we will be meeting in the next time, we are going to consider certain kind of devices like permanent magnet moving coil, which we will discuss in a very, very detailed way, moving iron, and electrodynamometer. I will also consider the induction type of the instrument, and some other fundamental of the instruments I will also cover up, which may not be in your course but will be important from your competitive examination point of view, gate examination point of view. Induction time particularly we are going to use in the under the head of the second module. Okay, so with this, I'm going to wind up today session, and uh, different applications of the moment. This slide you remember, but we are going to discuss it, this particular slide, this particular slide at the end of this particular module. Again, what are the advantage and disadvantage of the different applications? Okay. So with this, I'm going to close the today's session. If you have any questionnaires, you can ask, or if not, you can disperse. And tomorrow morning, again, we shall be meeting. Where the first topic today, now we are going to consider that the permanent magnet moving coil (PMMC) device, very, very popular, very, very popular, you can say, as far as the different applications are concerned. How you can use the PMM device for measurement, voltmeter, emitter, or the ohm meter, that we will see. Okay, though today we are using the digital devices, it's a very different application, but still in some applications you should know that how these digital devices emerge, what are the fundamental aspects of the analog devices, and how it is going to be. Okay. Yes, I am ending of this session. Okay, thank you. And with this, you can wind up, and tomorrow morning we shall be meeting again.